Mic check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. JT in the house. Can you hear me? Mic check 1, 2. Going live in 1 minute. Dr. Strange in the house. Can you hear the audio? Doc. Yay! What is up, everybody? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your Crypto Pro.
Yay!
Man, oh man, we got to break down what is happening today, and I don't know what is up with my streaming software, but it's been acting crazy because I've got the two channels and I've been streaming and all the settings are getting mixed up, but it looks like we are on. So if you can hear the audio and you hear the background music, please check in and let me know. I cannot pull up the window to see how many people that we have in the house at the moment, but we're going to get it figured out as we go. Whew, I tell you what, I'm going to try to pull up this window so I can see who we have in the house, and then we're just going to go ahead and rock this boat and check out what is happening in the markets. All right, so I'm going to flip on over to the desktop, and again, let me know if you hear the audio and you hear the music, and we're going to jump in and look at these charts. We're going to break it all down for you right now, starting out with the Bitcoin action. I'm going to see, I can see the comment section, but I cannot see who we have. I do not know why I cannot see my window with the concurrent viewers, so I don't know who is here. A black screen. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, thank you, Ice. I appreciate that. ICIV54 is in the house.
Yay!
Okay, so if anybody has any idea of how many concurrent viewers that we have and who is in the house, please let me know. And then we're going to get this breakdown. I'm going to try to pull it up on my phone also, but for some strange reason, I can't even pull up the video on my phone. So this is just wild. I've never had this happen before. So it is just tripping. So if everybody can see me, can you see me on the screen? If I am there, I think we're ready to roll. And we'll start out with the Bitcoin price action while I try to pull this up. There we go. Okay. All right. I see it now. I see we got 10 people in the house. I got my phone on. My phone is on mute. Now, I don't see my audio control, so I'm going to turn this music down. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. So let me know how the volume is. Okay, I think everything is good. So, we've got Big Boy Crypto in the house.
Yay!
All right, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and get this party started. There are 12 people here. The main people in the house that we need to have here are here. JT is in the house.
Yay!
Dr. Strange is in the house.
Yay!
And we've got ICIV54, Big Boy Crypto. We are ready to roll. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the music and let's get this party started. We're going to jump right in to the Bitcoin chart. So please let me know, give me feedback as we go. As I said, we've got blood in the streets.
Woo!
Blood in the streets. That was the wrong audio. This is what I want. When I looked at the Bitcoin price today, I was like, holy smokes. And so in the first description that I made, I said that this is a good thing. And I would explain during the live stream. But I had to delete that video because it wasn't operating right. But the reason that this is a good thing is because everything is happening as we predicted previously. Okay, we talked about this a month ago. We talked about what was going to happen as far as what the charts were telling us at the moment. So this is no surprise. And the reason why it's good is because when the charts play out the way that we see it on the screen, that means that we can make a better prediction of what to expect. All right, we've got ECCL712 in the house.
Yay!
What is up? Now, before I break down this chart right here, this nasty Bitcoin chart, let me remind you that this is not financial advice. Anything I say in this video can cause you to be wrecked, and you can end up as a homeless bum living out of a box in the back alley with the rats. All right, so let's just play it safe, guys. Don't do anything stupid. We're going to break down this chart. And by the way, Dr. Strange, I've had a crazy week, but I'm glad to be here on live to let you know I got your message. I was overwhelmed the last week, and I'll tell you all about it, but I will help you out with making some moves in here so you can get some stuff moved around and take care of business. All right. Now, I'm going to start right here in the Bitcoin chart. This is the 1-day chart, and we look like we are approaching the red dashed line. Yikes. Where's that red dashed line sitting? It's sitting right here at 52K. How long have we been talking about 52K? And what did I say on the last video? What did I say? Who can tell me what I said about the 200 EMA line, or that blue line that you see on this chart? If you remember, type in the comments and let me know what I told you would happen when we approach this blue line. Does anybody remember what I said and why this point right here was so critical? Okay, we were bouncing around above the 50 line and we violated it and we came down, and I said we might bounce around between the 50 and the 200. We wicked down, almost touching the 200, and we came right back up. We almost made it back to the 50, but we fell off of this volume node at 63, and then we hovered around 62 for another candle, and 62 was the exact price target that we talked about before. A month ago, we were back here in what? March, April, May. And when we hit this peak, I said, guys, there's a chance we might come back to this big fat volume node at 62,000. And I said that if the correction continued, we would probably check in down below where this other node sticks out at 55, 56, 57. Well, guess what? We did it. And the advice that I gave, the warning I gave, was that if we don't bounce off of this 200 EMA, if we violate that, we would head towards the red dashed line. And what do you know it? We failed it. And now we're bouncing down towards the red dashed line. All right, so what do we expect from here? Let me check in on the comments here. JT said, break it on down on another level. I am definitely going to break it down for you.
Woo!
Yes, we're going to break it down. So here we are. We violated the 200 EMA. We're falling down, headed toward the red dash line, which happens to be at 52K. Now, this node below it is at 50. And so right now, I can tell you that it's looking like almost a guarantee that the prediction we made over a month ago about checking in at 52K, when everybody else was saying that we would never fall below this node up here at 67,000, much less the big fat node is 62. And where are we right now? We checked in at the 57. We're coming down fast towards this 52. And momentum, look at the momentum. We had a very bearish crossover on the stochastic here, and it's dropping straight down off of a cliff. Look downstairs on the MACD. What do you see? You see that the blue line tried to cross up and recover, and then it bounced off, glanced off, and failed. The blue line right there. Do you see that falling away from the orange line? And do you see these solid red bars on the histogram? That's a double confirmation that this chart here, the MACD, is bearish, which agrees with the faster stochastic oscillators, which are ahead. These MACD oscillators lag behind the stochastic. The stochastic already told us that we are bearish. So this one-day chart says that we have confirmation that we have a very aggressive move that's coming towards that red dash line. Now let's go backwards and let's look and see what the 4-hour chart says. The 4-hour chart is nasty. Do you see this? Let me scroll this up a little bit. There's our red dash line. Notice how the stochastic on the 4-hour has crossed over bearish. It tried to crawl up. It failed. It crawled up. It failed again. And now look how steep the blue line has fallen below the orange line, and look at the MACD oscillators. What do you see? The blue line is taking a steeper angle down, and it's moving away from the orange line, all right? And so that means that we are in a very bearish condition, okay? And we went from printing these light red bars on the histogram back to solid red. So the momentum on the 4-hour says that we are bearish. Now, this is a 4-hour chunk, a cycle, and we've got 6 of those cycles that create the 1-day chart. So right now, the 4-hour chart says we're bearish. Within the 1-day chart, that says we're bearish. And now we can look at the immediate, the 1 hour. What's happening like right now? Bearish. Look at this. We've fallen off into oversold. The MACD oscillators have crossed over bearish. What this is telling me is we will have a continuance. Notice how this price was slumping down. And each time after the stochastic was up here and overbought, we checked all the way down. We came all the way back upstairs, glanced off of the 80 line, went back downstairs, and then we're wobbling around and we keep dipping down into oversold. So when we came all the way up and tried to recover, this price was still lower. It's on a downtrend. We came on down, dipped into oversold, but we recovered. We came on up, but look at this, a lower low than the previous stochastic peak. So we have a series of lower lows all the way from this peak point at the 63,000 node, the 62,000 node back on Monday, all right, just 3 days ago. So this bearish trend can continue. We might recover up, but we might get another lower low when we bump up if we don't get back. The best we could do right here is jumping back to 55 and then continuing down towards that red line. And right now, it doesn't even look like we'll make it to this tiny node at 55. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. So here's the 1-day chart, bearish. Now, would you like to see what the 1-week chart is telling me? Now, post in the comments right now, and I want you to say, aye, aye, Captain, if you understand what I'm putting down. Do you understand what I'm putting down and how serious this bearish action is? What's behind it? Well, I'll tell you after we look at the 1-week chart. So let's crank it on over and type in the comments. I need to see it. I want you to type, aye, aye, Captain, if you understand what I'm laying down for you tonight. Let me know. Are you with me? We've got 17 people in the chat. Please hit the like button so other people will know that the Crypto Pro is live and breaking it down for you and showing you exactly what is about to happen.
Woo!
All right. So we're going to show you how ugly it's going to get and what I expect for the bottom. All right. ICV says, aye, aye, Captain. That's good. Thank you, sir, for checking in.
Yay!
You understand what I'm putting down. Everybody else post in the comments. And also, if you are here and you have not checked in, there's 18 people viewing right now. Type in the comments you are here. JT is checked in. He says, aye, aye, Captain.
Yay!
All right. He understands what I am putting down. Okay, let's move on to the 1-week chart. Keep posting in the comments. Let me know if you understand. Give me an aye, aye, Captain, that you understand what I'm showing you, because we've got to have a clear understanding so we know what to expect and where this market is going so we can make some smart moves, because this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yay!
We are in a bull market, but this is where the market comes down to get us. I always say it. When you miss a run, be patient. Don't buy at a peak, because the market always comes back to get you. Here we go, folks. Let's go to the 1-day chart. Here it is. I'm sorry, the 1-week chart. I'm losing it. The 1-week chart. All right, here's our 1-week chart. This looks absolutely absurd. And this is why I'm guaranteeing, I'm going to go ahead and just guarantee it. We're checking down on the red dash line. We are checking down on the red dash line. Look how we have fallen off of a cliff. Look at the size of this 1 week candle. We're almost at the bottom. There's a baby wick at the bottom, but look at the momentum of the stochastic after this bearish cross, dropping off, going down steep, almost a vertical dive off of a cliff. And we're not even in the oversold zone. If this momentum continues, we're going to get down here into this oversold zone. We're going to dip down, and we haven't been there since when? Monday of September 2023. Can you believe that? Here is the bull market kicking in. Here is the bull market peak. And we're supposed to be in the next bull market, not fooling around all the way down here. So this is why this is a chance of a lifetime.
Yay!
Because we are dipping all the way down here, headed towards oversold, and we know that we're only months away from the bull run. But look at this crossover, this nasty crossover on the MACD. We crossed over bearish on the 29th of April, and the fast line, this blue line, is falling away from the slow line, and we're printing solid red bars on the histogram. Now, when's the last time that you saw during a bull run that we had this action? Well, we'll have to look way back here in 2021 when we had this bull run action that popped on up, and this is the double peak. The only time that we had twin peaks during a Bitcoin bull market. So here we fell off of a cliff. We touched in right here at the black dashed line, all right? And then we came up, we came back down again, touched the black dash line the second time. Look at this, stochastic bottom once, twice. We dipped down, a double dip, a stochastic bottom. After the bull run had started, the market came all the way back down to get everybody who missed out on the run. And then what did we do? We shot to the top. This was the bull market pre-peak. We corrected, we shot back up again, and then we had a peak here, and then we had another peak here where the stochastic was lower than the previous peak, but the price was higher. So FOMO forced us up here on what I think was a bear market rally. That's when the market falls off. It falls off, but then it shoots back up. Notice how here we just fall off of a cliff. But we usually have a peak here, okay? And the bear market rally, rather, after we hit the blow off top, we usually come back up and make a lower high, but it made a higher high. But the stochastic was lower when we had this secondary crossover, and that's what told us that this got out of control, that this was the true peak bull market, and then this price was part of the bear market rally. So this was the dip that we got after the bull run started. It came back down. The market picked us back up. We were able to ride it to the peak. Fast forward. What do we see here? We've got price action dropping down, stochastic dropping down. We're probably going to get down here into oversold. Why? Because of this MACD, the oscillators here, telling us that we have momentum downward. Red bars, solid red bars on the histogram, blue line falling away from the orange line. Momentum confirmed from the stochastic by the MACD oscillators and the histogram. So we're going to violate this. We could violate that red dash line, but what we're going to look at here, are we going to find a bottom at the 50 EMA? Because if we don't, we're probably going to come down here to this 47 level. But I'm thinking that what is most probable is we sit at this 52K peak. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, I'm going to check back in the comments and see how well you guys are handling this information. So JT says we should check ETH. Yes, we should check ETH BTC. I will look at that after we look at the rest of the big alts. As a matter of fact, I can go straight to that right now, JT, because it's going to make a good point where we can see whether or not ETH is outperforming Bitcoin. So which one is doing better? Here is ETH in terms of BTC. And it's just kind of holding. It's side banding, but we have this nasty stochastic crossover about to happen. So this side banding says that ETH is hanging in and holding more value than BTC at the moment. Litecoin is going down and not holding its value. It's slipping a little bit. So ETH is really performing. Solana, in terms of BTC, is doing very well. It looks bullish. All right. Looks like we got a big pennant forming right here and a bullish crossover. So Solana for the next few weeks possibly will outperform Bitcoin. It's very possible. In other words, that means that Bitcoin is going to dip at a faster rate than Solana. So if you had Bitcoin and Solana, it would be better to hold it in Solana because right now it's outperforming it. Looking at Kaspa, Kaspa's absolutely outperforming Bitcoin right now because it's on a bullish romp. But we're at a crossover, so it's starting to come down. But will it dip as fast as Bitcoin? It's hard to read these charts in terms of Bitcoin price, but that's a good point that we need to look at that. Let's go back to the hot list. Now, we are cooking with oil. We got 18 people in here. I need you to hit that like button, please. And let me know who you are. Check in, post in the comments, and let me know who you are. I need to know. And if you have questions, then go ahead and post your questions. And if you want me to really dive deep into your alt, you can hit me up with a super chat at $10. I'll give you a brief. I'll give you a full in-depth analysis at $20. But let's just roll right on and look at the altcoin. So flipping back to the one-day chart, and we're going to look at Ethereum, which is now, oh my goodness, 28.96. I didn't think that ETH was going to break 3,000, and it sure did. We're below the 200 EMA. We are bearish on the stochastic. We are bearish on the MACD on the 1 week chart. So it looks like it is possible that if we get into this slip zone right here where you don't have big bars on the VPVR, that's volume profile visible range, that tells you how much of that project, that coin, that token is being bought and sold at a particular price instead of the total bought and sold on a particular day within the length of that candle. So if we hit the slip zone and we don't recover and come back up here, we're going to be looking at this point of control price at 2,200. That could be the bottom. So that is looking bearish. The 4-hour is looking like it might be ready to recover. So maybe it's going to snatch itself back up and come back to this 3,155 node, or at least to 2,935. And if it doesn't hold that, then it's going to get ugly. But according to this 1 week chart, I think that it's a 50-50 shot what ETH does from here. Okay, we've got Miss V Rose in the house. What's up, Miss V Rose?
Yay!
Glad to have you here. In fact, everybody who is in here and watching, give yourself a round of applause because you guys are lucky. You've come upon the only channel out here in the crypto sphere where there's no BS. I'm telling you exactly what these charts are saying to me. There's no fluff. I'm not a moon boy and I'm not a perma bear. I'm just telling you exactly what the charts are saying, and you can see it, and then you can decide if you agree with what I'm showing you to be plain as the nose on your face. Now let's move on to Litecoin at 59. Wow, what in the world? I might have to look at picking up some Litecoin. It's looking like it's headed towards this purple dash line, and we got the red dash line below. And Litecoin tends to front run the market. The Litecoin is telling me right now that Bitcoin might have a little bit further to go. It might be dropping because Litecoin tends to make the more drastic moves, both up and down, before everything else. And so I've been using Litecoin as my early market indicator to know what direction that Bitcoin is going. My little footstool fell off here. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. I got to fix my footstool because that's going to annoy me while I'm talking. There we go. Okay, I got it all fixed. I'm better. All right, so anyway, Litecoin is looking very bearish on the stochastic. Very bearish. Look at that cross on the MACD. Look at the big fat red bar on the histogram. We're headed towards the purple line, and I think we're going to fail that and fall out to the red dashed line. That could give us a price as low as 43 bucks. Litecoin is a safe bet, man. If it drops down to 43 bucks, I tell you what, you can win in this market. You can win with these safe plays because these things ain't going anywhere. If Litecoin decides to check in at the purple at 50, that's a great price. If it checks in at 42, I'm buying. I'm going to have to do it. I want to spread the wealth and make sure that I'm covering all the bases. All the bases so that when the bull market run hits, I'm going to have some that are going to go up 10x, some 20x, some 50x. But things like Litecoin, you're at least going to get a 2, 3 to 5x. That's a guarantee. All right, so Litecoin looking very bearish. The rest of these alts, I'm just going to show you the one-day chart. We won't get too crazy, and then we'll run to the micros and then the memes.
Woo!
All right, so Chainlink. I did not think Chainlink would ever give me a $10 price, but we're sitting at this volume node at 11 bucks. And a nasty stochastic crossover looking bearish with a crossover on the MACD oscillator and a red bar on the histogram. Okay, we have got Ones B in the house. What is up, One?
Yay!
Link could possibly go down to $7.35. This is a no-brainer. Chainlink is instrumental to the structure of the crypto sphere. Chainlink is fundamental to how everything works. It allows for cross-chain functionality. It does so many things. It's just ridiculous. In other words, Link ain't going anywhere, guys. So if we end up getting a $7.35 Chainlink, you better get it while you can. Now, as far as time period, I'll go back to Bitcoin and tell you when I think that we should see the bottom or how long this red market is going to be. Thank you very much, Ones B, for letting me know that Crypto Pro is the man.
Yay!
But you the man for being here because you are smart. You know that this is the only place that you're going to get the straight dope on what's happening in the crypto space. So give yourself a hand. Yes, indeed. Okay, we've got Wop Mammoth in the house, longtime listener, first time caller. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. What is up, Wop man?
Yay!
I'm glad to have you here, and I'm glad you're getting involved in the chat. Very glad to see you here. All right, let's move to Caspa. Major discount on Caspa, guys, 15 cents. It's looking bearish. Both on the stochastic, see the momentum going down and the fast line way below the slow line. This is easy to read, guys. Look at the crossover on the MACD oscillator and the red bar on the histogram. Very easy to read. Now, notice how Caspa has touched on this ascending red line. If it saves itself and stays in this green zone here, in this green box, I don't think it's going to go much lower. But if we touch back down on this ascending red line, that's the balance point, I think we're going to go into this second zone right here that falls between a price of 13 cents and 15 cents. If that fails and we head towards the 200 EMA line, we could get into the third zone, which takes us from 11.5 cents to 12 or 13 cents. I don't think that's going to happen because Caspa has been very bullish. I hope it comes down because in a month or so, I'm going to be selling an investment house and I'm going to dump a bunch more into Caspa. Now, y'all know that I'm sitting on a nice bag of Caspa because I bought it way back in the old days. I started buying it at 0.0015.
Woo!
I was buying and selling, swing trading, and then it started to run. And I thought, it's past 0.004. It's time to buy and hold. So I got 102,000, and I have not touched that bag ever since. But if I can pick up another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 Caspa, I will. If I can come into that kind of money, this is the safest bet of everything because you're going to get the greatest return on investment for the safest investment. And I think Caspa is going to end up being right behind Ethereum by the time we hit this bull market peak. Okay, We've got 26 people in the house. Let me know who you are. Check in the comments. Check in now.
Yay!
If you got a question, post it up. And like I said before, if you want me to give a deep dive on something that I don't cover, hit that super thanks, and it will help support the Crypto Pro channel. And I thank you in advance if you would like to donate to the channel. Moving right along, Taraxa is one I want to mention because I've loaded up on Taraxa. I got a nice bag. I'm going to look and see and pull up on my chart and tell you how much Taraxa I have at this point because I can't quite remember what that total is. So we're going to look up on my swing trade chart. I now have 8,000 Taraxa. And the reason why I have it is because Taraxa is similar to Caspa, but it's not. It is the proof of stake version of Caspa. Caspa is proof of work. Do you understand that? Okay, so I've decided to diversify and put a little bit into Taraxa. I think it's a good project. I thought it was garbage before. Now I'm a believer in it. ICV says some alts are back to bear market lows and some below their bear market lows like ARB. That's exactly right. That's why I'm saying this is a monumental time. This is a chance. This is a rare chance where the market comes back to get you and you can buy in and ride it through the bull market peak. Yes, sir. I love it when the market comes back to get you. Bones B. Bones B is in the house.
Yay!
What is up, Bones? Coming in from Canada. We got Canada. The Maple Leafs are in the house. Glad to have you here, man. Good to see you. We need to catch up. It's been a minute. All right, so back to the charts. Let's do a couple more alts, and then we're going to run to the micros and then look at those big fat memes. Filecoin, guys, look at Filecoin at $3.43, looking bearish. There's not even any price. We're in reverse price discovery right now. I don't remember Filecoin being this low. Let's see. We were at $2.72 in 2023. We also touched at that low point in 2022. So there's a chance that we could go down as low as $2.75. Okay, where I think that it'll pick itself up and probably move back up. And from that point, I'm thinking it's a 10x from this low point that we hit to the bull market peak. Okay, KRL is one that I hold, and I'm going to tell you what, I got a good bag of this, and we are approaching the red dash line on KRL. I'm watching closely because if we violate this line, we're going to get some cheap KRL. This is Krill. It is on Coinbase. It's a safe play. So for all of you Coinbase normies out there, this is one that you can safely ride for a 10x during the bull market. I bought it way back when it was about 10 or 15 cents. Look what it hit at the bull market peak, $1.59. Oh, that's not the bull market peak. That was just March of this year. So look at the correction that we have. Let's look at the size of the correction from this peak that we hit coming down to the current price. That's 75% of a drop. All right. So if we go down to the red dash line and we just hit this previous peak, which is going to go above that, that's 356%. That's a 3.5x. I expect KRL to at least do a 10x during the bull market, and it's a really solid project. Alberta, Canada is in the house.
Yay!
What is up, Jay Riggs? Glad to have you here, my brother. Give him a round of applause. Two Maple Leafs are in the house. Toncoin. Guys, I thought Toncoin would never come back to get us. It's been on a bullish romp. Look at this one-day chart. We're falling off, and we have violated the 50 EMA. Toncoin is the token for Telegram. And you know I love Telegram. So we are falling off a cliff here. We're at this big volume node at 641. And if we fail that and come down to the 200 EMA, we'll be at this volume node at $5.30. I would have to buy at that point. If we fail that and come down to, say, $3.91 at this node, that's a steal because Toncoin is probably going to be a 10 to 20x. It could be a 50x. You never know what Telegram could end up doing because Telegram is huge. So we're very bearish. We're falling off. We're just at the midpoint. We've got a ways to go. Bearish cross on the MACD oscillators and a big fat red bar on the histogram. I'm thinking we could see that $5. Okay, so it looks like Miss V Rose has just dropped a two bomb on my head. Thank you very much for that two bomb. I appreciate that. Thank you for your support. So she asked a question about Pendle Finance. What's the symbol? I'll look it up and give you a brief view of that. So thank you, Miss V Rose, for checking in. XLM is a big one, and that is on my list down below. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Actually, looking at KDA, because me and Bones, we are big on KDA. Cadena and Flux, they kind of go together. So KDA, as you know, has been at $2. It's been to $25 during the last bull market peak. Okay. I was sitting on a pile of it at $25 and then bought a small bag and watched it come all the way back down. So when we look at the 1 week chart and scrunch it down, look at the peak. Look at this. Look where KDA went. Bam, right there. $28, as a matter of fact. I think that we have more correction to go with KDA. I'm sitting on a kind of a decent bag. And if KDA continues to correct and gets below this 42 cent point, which actually it is, good Lord, or almost at 42 cents. We're sitting at 43 cents. We'll be in reverse price discovery. So I'm going to have to start picking up. I don't think KDA is impressive as Caspa, but this is a pretty decent project. Now, Flux is a very solid project. It's fallen off very bearish, and it is below. It is below the red dash line. I didn't expect, coming towards it. It's not below it just yet, but I'm thinking that we are going to test and violate the red dash line. Flux is a very, very solid project. You need to check it out. Looking at Matic, who would have thunk that Matic would be below 50 cents and still bearish, still moving down. I have a red dash line from the last bear market. We're going to touch down on that red dash line and we'll probably violate it. So it might be time to pick up a bag of Matic. I had my bag, I had 300 Matic stolen when I got hacked, and I'm never going to get hacked again. And the reason is because I've got one of these little suckers right here. And if you want to go to the comments section, not comments, the description, I've got a link to this thing right here. You need a hardware wallet. I've got the 2-card Tangent set, and nobody can steal my crypto anymore when I'm holding it here. So my 102,000 Caspa is on this card. I don't hold any significant amounts of any crypto unless it's put on a hardware wallet. So I've got this, and I've also got a ledger. So here's the ledger, and it's clunky and hard to use, but I've got 2 good devices to protect my crypto. All right, so moving right along, let me find... let's see, ADA has already violated the red dash line, and I think it's going to go a lot further down. I'm going to stretch this green box over here, and that's going to tell you what's going to happen. We touched on it. We wicked up. If we go back into this box, there's a possibility that we're going to see about a 24-cent ADA. All right, Graph, GRT at 16 cents and looking bearish. What I'd like to see is Graph coming back down to 10 cents, and that's where I'm going to buy back in. The Graph is also a fundamental project, a great project. Do your due diligence on it, and you will find out why. Okay, it's like a chain link. Okay, it has a fundamental use. It is also like a file coin. It's very fundamental to the blockchain. So look for Graph to possibly touch down to 10 cents. I was going to buy back in Graph at 5 cents. And then it went to 7 cents, and I thought it'll come down, and it never came back. Now that I'm patient, it may come back to get me. Let's see, we got to get XLM. Here it is at 7.9 cents. Looking nasty, looking nasty. It's testing the bottom of this green box that I've been waiting on it to get into this green box for a long time. It's looking bearish, and I'm betting you we're going to fail this box, okay? We sunk down in it. We're at the base. We're bearish on the stochastic and the MACD. And when you look at the 1 week chart for XLM, it is already in the oversold zone, okay, but looking very bearish on the MACD oscillators. So I don't know how much lower this thing is going to go, but if it does fail this box, the previous price action tells us that we have four targets. The first one, 6.3 cents. The second one, 5.8 cents. The third one, 4.6 cents. The fourth one at 3.6 cents. And that happened in March of 2020 after the bear market hit the bottom. I don't think we could probably go back down that low, but it's looking like a good possibility that 6 cents could be a settling point. That might be the safest place that we land. Oh, okay, so it's Pendle. Let me just type in Pendle. I'll give you a quick look at it. Pendle on Binance. Wow. So it went up to $7. It is sitting down at $3.50. And it looks like on the one-day chart, we have a crossover about to happen. The blue line has come up and touched the orange line, but the MACD oscillators are very bearish and divergent. So this could unfurl and it could continue to go down. Now, right now, the one-day chart says that the bottom is somewhere around $2.89. If it fails that, I don't know. We could come down to $2.13. Looking on the one-week chart, we're falling off of a cliff, and that's looking ugly. From this 1 week chart, the only thing I can tell you is that pray that it stops at this node at around $3. Because if it doesn't, you're going to jump down here to that $2.30 point, and the point of control price is all the way down at $1.25. Okay, so moving right along, we're going to look at some of these micro caps. Okay, micro caps. I like them because this is where you can make the 100x gains. Yeah, 100x gains.
Woo!
I said it. The first one that I'll talk about is POLX. This is my dark horse, risky dark horse play. I have 7 million of this, and it has failed my strike zone box and moving down. So I'm probably going to pick up a few million more, cross my fingers, and hope that Polylastic, which is an index play, can come back. Now, when we look at the 1 week chart, I'll tell you why I have it, and I'll tell you what is possible with this one for the bull market peak. Let me pull this down. This is just insane, guys. All right, if we just get to the previous peak that happened in 2021, okay? That's not even the 2018 peak, but I'll just tell you that if we hit the 2021 peak, once we get to the bottom of this thing, which is somewhere around, I'll just try from 0.30 and an 11. So let's click, move up to the 2021 peak, and you were looking at 2,187%. So that's a 20x. But if it comes back to the all-time high, if it repeats the all-time high, you're looking at a 40x, 3,945%. I did a lot of swing trading on it, and I don't know if it can come back to that all-time high because I think that was when the project was launched. Okay, so that is Polylastic. The next one is Swiftcoin, which is a Coinbase play and looking very juicy. It has fallen out of this green support resistance zone. It has fallen off of this big price node at 0.0045. It is below the 200 EMA. It is bearish on the stochastic and bearish on the MACD, and it could be going down to this lower volume node at 0.003. And if that happens, I'm going to get another 100,000. I started buying Swiftcoin at 0.001. So I am at this current point at about a 4x. And at the peak, when it hit a cent, I was already at a 10x. During this bull market peak, I expected to blow right by 1 cent. I'm hoping to get 20, 30, 40, or even 50x out of Swiftcoin. I think it is possible. Mr. Planet Profit is in the house. What's up, man?
Yay!
He says blood. Yes, blood in the streets. That is right. Okay, so I've never heard of Hoppy, Daniel. Let me just get a very brief look at Hoppy. I don't know what's happening there. I do trade on MEXC. I'll have to look at the tokenomics on it, but it's looking like it's in a bullish romp, but it's going to correct, and it's probably going to come down maybe, let's just see. We're looking at maybe 25% or all the way down to 50% down. But that's an interesting one. I don't know much about it, but we'll have to see. Now, a few other long shots. Virtual versions. I talked about this before. I'm still doing the DCA game, and I think virtual versions has a chance of being a 100x. You could also lose all of your money on it, so be careful. Proton is another one that I'm sitting on a fat bag, and it's in my strike zone box telling me to pick up another few $100,000. I'm sitting on maybe 280,000 Proton XP. Look it up and do your due diligence. Some other ones that I think have extreme bounce potential. We've got GQ, which is Outer Ring MMO. Boy, oh boy, I started buying at 0.3065, and it's gone down about 20 cents since I made my first purchase, but I'm doing the DCA game. I've also bought a bag of ISP Link. And Link, from this point right here, if we just go back to where we were in March, you're looking at a gain of 430%. So that's a 4x right there. I like these micro caps that have volume because I can get in and I can get out. IQ, Everpedia. Tell you what, guys, Jonathan Sampolinsky is involved in Everpedia, and it's sitting at less than a half a cent. If this sucker goes in the bull market, let's look at the 1 week chart. Let's look at the previous peaks. I'm going to tell you what is possible with Everpedia, and why I trust it is because Jonathan Sampolinsky is on the team, the developers team. If we hit the previous bull market peak, that's 758%, which tells me 10x is possible on IQ. So that's why I've got it on my list of micro caps, small caps that have major return potential. Okay, thank you for telling everybody to hit that thumbs up.
Yay!
Please hit the thumbs up, people, or I will slap you. All right, we need the thumbs up so other people will know that we are on. We have 24 people in the house right now who are getting the alpha, the inside information. I feel sorry for all the people that are not getting this, because I tell you what, you're going to get some stuff. Now, let me show you something. Rightstream. I was going to buy into Rightstream at 0.002. Let's look at what it did after I forgot to buy it. It went up 4,236%. Okay? That's a 42x. So from the time that I was going to buy it, which was December 2023, that was just right before the new year, guys, it's gone up 42x. See, this is what happens when you look at the chart and it screams out at you, this thing is going to blow, and then you're hesitant. I didn't get it. Thank God I didn't trip and do that with Caspa, because I would be kicking myself. I mean, imagine that. So Caspa, I was in on an average price of 0.004, and it's at what, 14 cents. So I'm way up on Caspa. $400 worth that is now worth $15,000. That's the kind of gains that I like. Okay, 23 people are in the house.
Yay!
And now we're going to move on. We're going to move on and look at the memes, because the memes is where you get fat gains in a very short amount of time. We're going to start with Myro. How many times did I tell you guys in the last few weeks that Myro was probably going to come down and test 10 cents? And where are we right now? We're below 10 cents. It's almost time for me to buy. The last time I bought Myro was at 5 cents, 5.7 cents. There it is right there. I bought at 10 cents. I bought at 5 cents. I sold up here when we got to like a quarter. I got scared and I got out. I was like, I'm taking my gains and cashing in the chips. And I said, I'll wait till it corrects. And it did not. And so I hesitated here. I was going to buy more when it started to run up right here. I thought, well, I'll get some more when it comes to 5 cents. And it stopped at 6 cents. And I didn't buy. Then it did that. And I sold somewhere in here. Well, it might be time to buy. But right now, it's still looking bearish. We got a very bearish stochastic headed towards the overbought zone. We have a bearish crossover on the MACD. Printing red bars on the histogram. Now, for those of you that are playing memes, especially Solana memes, I want you to type in the chat right now, meme power. Type meme power.
Yay!
And let me know if you are cashing in on the memes. Okay, so where is Myro going to go from here? At the bottom of this support resistance zone is about 6.7 cents, but the volume node below it is at 5.6 cents. I absolutely am going to be back into Myro once we get to the bottom of this box, and I'm going to start my DCA game at around 7 cents. Looking at the 1 week chart for Myro, what's possible? Well, we're bearish on the stochastic. We're bearish at the MACD, even though we only have the fast line reporting in right now because there's not enough data. But this is telling me that we could at least hit 7.5 cents because that's the biggest volume node on the VPVR. If we're super lucky, we can go to the point of control price of 2 cents, but I don't think super lucky is going to happen. I think the best that we can get is 5 cents. But like I said, I'm going to start the DCA game on Myro very soon. I'm watching it every day. Miss V Rose says meme power.
Yay!
All right, we got one person that is up on the meme action. JT, I know you're playing the memes. I'd like to know, JT, post in the comments, which memes are you playing? Okay, so the next meme we're going to look at is Win. Win doesn't have massive volume. So when I jump over to Crypto Rank, which is my top secret site that I use in order to track my memes. Let me go ahead and log in here so I can show you my ranking of memes by volume. So we're going to click the volume here. And of course, we know that Dogecoin is the king at 1 billion volume. And I'm not playing Doge. I had Doge at 0.0025 back in 2018, and I sold out at 0.0035. So I'm not going back to that. Turbo, which I will cover, and Bonk have massive volume. I'm probably not going to jump into Floki, but Bonk and Turbo are sitting at the top of the volume along with Based Brett at 52 million. Myro is at 24 million. Then we have Grok, 8 million. Duco, 5 million. Analos, 4 million. Dogelon Mars, 2.4 million. Neversol at just under 1 million. And you have to scroll on down to see I need a max win at only 96,000 or 90,000. So volume is not there for Win, but I have been swing trading Win like a madman. But I don't think I'm going to buy it just yet. I was buying at the bottom point. I had bought right down here at the lovely price of 2.7, and I sold out somewhere at around 10 cents, 9.9 cents. I cashed it in, and I was like, see you later. I'm happy to have that. Let's cash out. Sometimes you got to know when to cash in those chips, and I rolled it into something else. But when is coming down, if it comes all the way down to 0.0025, I'll throw a little bit on it just because I know the chart. All right, if we can go down to 0.002, say 7, let's just look at what the game would be if it pops again from the last peak that we just got in June. That's 400%, guys. That's a 4x. I love short swing trade plays. It was a matter of what? Let's see. Here's the 1st of June, 2nd of June, 3rd of June, 4th, 5th. So we're talking 1 week while we were in this low action where you could have gone from right here to this little peak and gotten 250%. You would have had a 2.5x just playing that little pop right there. That's why I like these memes. Okay, so Caspa Jeremy is in the house. What is up, Caspa Jeremy?
Yay!
Glad to have you here, man. It's good to see you. Haven't chopped it up with you for a while. I tell you what, things are looking pretty darn good. So let me jump over here and pull up my window on the computer so I can read that comment a little bit easier. Matt Fury memes, what? And Flappy have huge potential. I will check those out. I'll pull those up. I've never heard of them. So thanks for the ideas, Casper. Jeremy.
Yay!
Planet Prophet says Stacks, blockchain memes. Okay. I've heard of Stacks. Welsh, I've heard of that. Every dog meme on BTC. Yeah, you're right. That is true. Okay, so back to the meme list. As we have 19 people that are still in the house soaking up this meme action. Rocky, guys, another dark horse Another dark horse. Look what it's doing. It's bearish. It has fallen out of this strike zone box that I made. I've been so patient on Rocky. I've already played Rocky several times where I made a 2.5x. I made a 5x, sold it out, and now I'm waiting for it to go rock bottom, and we're at 0.000825, but it's still sinking down. It's still sinking down, and it's in reverse price discovery. It's going to go lower, and I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm waiting, because what I'm going to do is just grab 100,000 Rocky. It's going to be less than one sol. I mean, we're looking at $82 to get 100,000. Rocky does not have the volume, but Rocky's chart is very predictable, and I will buy into a project that I know is still going to be around during the bull market, bull run. I'll buy it if I'm used to the chart. And so I have to purchase Rocky using the Telegram bot. It used to be on, I believe, Bitmart, and it got delisted, but it is still actively traded. So when we jump over to Crypto Rank, I got to scroll way down, and Rocky's got only 6,500 volume. But the good thing is, while that volume is so low, the price goes low, and then you can snag it for such a cheap price. And I'm telling you what, let's look at Rocky's all-time high, guys. And I'll tell you why I like this play. So when we go from the current price at about 0.00089 and take it up to the peak price of 2.3 cents, you're looking at 2,500% gain. That's a 25x. And I think it's possible for it to do that again in this next bull market cycle. So even if we just hit the previous peak, if we take it down to say 0.0007 and I grab that bag for $70, we're looking at 1,100% gain. That's an 11x. All right. So at least a 10x. It's good for at least a 10x. So I get $80 and cash it out for $800. You can't beat that with a stick. All right. So moving right along, the next meme is BOEM. BOEM has violated the support and resistance zone that I've had sitting up on this chart ever since we dipped at the bottom of the box when I set this box up in April of this year. We are looking bearish, about to enter into the oversold zone. MACD crossover bearish with a solid red bar on the histogram. That means we're going down. We are in negative price discovery on BOEM. And let's look at this, guys. Go back to the chart here. Look at the volume on BOEM. Okay? Where do we go, BOEM? Let's scroll on down. Where's my BOEM? I thought I had BOEM on the list. Let's jump on over to CoinMarketCap and pull it up, since for some strange reason I don't see it on my crypto rank. So here's Book of Meme. And the 24-hour trading volume is 281 million. $281 million. That's a lot of volume, guys. So that means that there is liquidity. You can get in and you can get out very fast. I don't mind that BOEM has a max supply of 69 billion because people are trading it. Okay. Normally, if you've got low volume and close to $1 trillion on the supply, I'm not going to play with it. But BOEM, I will play with, and I'm expecting BOEM to come down to maybe a half a cent. But like I said, we're in reverse price discovery because it's never been as low as it is right now. We are at the bottom of BOEM's history because it's been since the 13th of April in 2024 that BOEM was sitting at this price. All right? And we've already wicked below that. Reverse price discovery. All right, so once we get BOEM down to a half a cent, I'm jumping on, and I'm going to swing trade this every time we have a move up, and I'm going to sell. And all you got to do is go from peak to trough. You buy down here when the stochastic cycle is at the bottom. You sell at a peak, so you could buy here, sell there. You could buy here, sell there. All right, or you could buy here and wait until you go all the way up into oversold and sell here. So that might not look like a whole lot of money, but it could be, you know, a nice little gain. That's 115%, so you could 2x it. And it's safe. I wish there was more volatility with BOEM Okay, that's the only bad thing about it. Not a lot of volatility, but there's some big whales playing boom. All right, now Analos, I like this even better. So Analos is consolidating, and it looks like it's about to have a stochastic crossover on the 1 day chart, and it's leveling out, oscillating around the zero line on the MACD histogram. So Analos backwards Solana might be due for a pop. Now let's check out Analos here on the CoinGecko. Let's look at the gecko. So this one has what? 99 billion supply. It's like a trillion. That's a lot, but it's the volume I like, 4.2 million. All right. And then we've got some volatility. So it might not be as massive as some of these others, but when we scrunch it in, looking at the 1 week chart, all right, let's scrunch it down. And I'm going to tell you what, even if we just hit the last peak, you are looking at 625%. That's a 6X, guys. So I am going to get a little bag. Actually, I already bought a little bit. $5 will get you 100,000. Actually, $4 gets you 100,000. So that's cheap. So I'm going to play with it. And some people might think that's small potatoes, but let me tell you something, guys. When you can practice and buy and sell small amounts at $5 and $10, $20, $50, and make a profit, then you can take that to the bigger trades during the bull market, because then you know what you're doing. All right. So I've got several little plays that I just been messing around with, and I'll read you some of the last few trades. I did swing trading on when? In the month of May of 2024. And this was within a few weeks' time. I made $90 within like a week. Okay. A span of 2 weeks, maybe. All right. Duco. I bought and sold Duco. I only had like $30 worth, but I made $8.50 practicing swing trading. We're about to get to the Duco chart. And Turbo. I was buying and selling Turbo, swing trading. I made $14.83. So I'm practicing for when I get a bigger bag. So here's Duco. Here is Duco, guys. Duco, volume-wise, is looking good. Let's go back to Crypto Rank. We can see Duco with a 24-hour volume of 18.1 million. Supply is only 10 billion. That's not bad. I like the 1 billion ones, but 10 billion is not bad. And here's the other thing about this Duco chart. All right, it's looking bearish. We've crossed over bearish here on the stochastic. It's in the oversold zone. It's looking like a very bearish MACD, okay, a bearish histogram. And so if we can jump down to this node here at 0.001617 and just hit this last little peak here, that's a 300%. So you can 3x it. So if you took $100 worth of Duco and sell it out for $300, that's not bad. That's not bad. But once we hit the bull market, if you hold on to it for a longer period of time, there's a possibility that you could get a nice little 10x out of Duco. Type doo-doo in the chat if Duco, which sounds like Dookie, is one that you are playing. Okay, next chart. We're going to look at Neversol, which I'm not too big on, but it is possible that if it continues down to the point of control price, that we could be looking at a potential swing trade gain. If I can get the little clicker to work here. Come on, clicker. That's not working. I need a low price click. There we go. It's looking like you could get maybe a 10x out of this. All right. So Neversol, I probably won't jump into because I know more about the Turbo chart. Now, there have been a lot of people that are Turbo fans who have been commenting and asking me to keep them posted on Turbo. I want you to type floor it with Turbo if you are bullish on Turbo. I'm about ready to buy back into Turbo, and I'll tell you why. We're already deep in the oversold zone. We're pretty bearish on the MACD oscillators, and we have a solid red bar on the histogram, so it says we're going lower. I think that after we touch the top of this support resistance zone, if we come back down and test it and fall in, we're headed for the 200 EMA at 0.002. There was people back here when we were at 0.006 that said, Turbo's never going to go below the price it's at right now. I swear to God, people, It's the, the ones that get all over exuberant and have their heart all set. And they don't think. They just don't think. Watch the chart. So this says bearish. Best case scenario, it bounces off of 0.003 and it's already hit the bottom, goes up from there. So actually, if we can come back down to 0.003, I'm going to start to do the DCA game. Now, the next one coming up is a big one that I have not bought into yet, but it's getting close. And this one, guys, is historic. It's monumental. It's one that has a special attribute because it's on a brand new chain and it's called the base chain. All right. Can you guess what this token is that I'm about to bring up? Well, I get a piece of coffee candy. Well, it's none other than Brett. There's Brett, guys. Now, Brett was up here chilling at 15 cents and ran all the way to 20 cents, and everybody said it'll never come back down. You know how they always say. And what happened? It came down. It was like, are you going to go up forever? No, you're not. You're going to correct when the market corrects. So Brett came back down to my strike zone number 1. It failed it. It came to strike zone number 2, and we are within this range right now. So notice that we have dropped below strike zone number 2 and we came back up. We're wicking back up, but it's very bearish and we're still below the 50 EMA. So that tells me we might fail this secondary strike zone box that has a base of 10 cents. I didn't think I would have to do this, but now, guys, I got to do it. I got to pull this box over for Brett because I think we can fall into strike zone 3. If we can get to this volume node at 9 cents, I might start to buy. I'd love to get Brett at 6.97 cents, somewhere around there. I'd be super happy to get Brett in this 4th strike zone box, but I don't know if we're going to make it down to these nodes and near this point of control price. But if it does, I'm buying. It is possible. It can happen. Now, when we look at the 1 week chart, there's not enough data to know. And all we can look at is this nasty red weekly candle, and there's the volume node sticking out at 9 cents. There's the 7 cents volume node, and below that is where we could get to 4.7 cents. BC Mike is in the house. What's up, Mike?
Yay!
Absolutely. You are very welcome. I'm glad that you're picking up on what I'm putting down. Round of applause for all you smart people out there. You smart people who know not to listen to these crazy, what do you call them? The bulls, the perma bulls or the perma bears or whatever. You got to understand that the chart will tell you what's going on, and you can't follow the flock, the crowd, the sheep, the herd, okay, so to say. You got to just stick with what the chart is telling you. So anyhow, I would like to buy Brett, but I'm not going to be stupid and buy it unless it really, really comes down to get me. Okay, I need a low price. All right, moving right along. Andy is a nice one, and Andy is totally fallen off, and I'm going to have to make a new green box, and I'll show you how I do it. Since we fell out of this strike zone box up here, we need to know where it's going to go. So let's make another box. We're going to base this box off of the low point here, and then we need an intermediate point. So when we look at, there's a lot of confluence right here, okay, at the top of the candle body of this candle here, and then we wick back up and touch and come down, and then we also wick back up, pause, and then it becomes support. So I think that this is a legitimate box, and when we crawl on over, guess what? We're sitting on it again, and we wicked below it and snapped back up. So this is going to give us the insight of where it could possibly go. All right, so Andy, which has a lot of volume. Let's go pull up Andy here on CoinGecko. All right, let's look at Andy ETH. This is the ETH version. There's several Andys, but the 24-hour trading volume is 10 million, guys. So that means you've got liquidity. That means you can get in and you can get out with ease. You don't want to get into the Roach Motel. If you go back to the 80s, they had this roach motel. It was a glue trap. And their little tagline was, roaches check in, but they can't check out. That is what you call a project that does not have liquidity. Some are set up where you can't sell no matter what, and that's called a honeypot. A honeypot means you can only buy and there's no selling. But some are similar to a honeypot where the volume is so low and there's no liquidity that you can't get out of it, and you got to have liquidity. All right, so that is Andy. Moving right along, let's see. We got Turbo, we got Brett, we got Andy. Now here's another favorite of mine, another favorite coming up here that I did a lot of swing trading on and made me a little bit of money, and it's called Grok. So Grok, wow, I ignored it because I made enough money on it that I walked away from it and took a break from it. But I never thought it was going to jump back down to these prices again. So I need to stretch out my boxes here because I haven't been in here for a while, because we were in zone 2 here. After zone 1 became resistance, we fell into zone 2. It fell out of zone 2. It was support to zone 3, and then zone 2 became resistance and knocked it into zone 3. Now we are within zone 3. Now I'm going to show you what I did on Grok. Before I do that, let's look at the volume. Where is Grok in the list of things? There it is. Grok has a 24-hour trading volume, which is pretty decent, 8.9 million. There's 6 billion in the total supply. Not too bad. So when we go to the 1 week chart, you can see how I did this. I first bought Grok at 0.0023. It was right here. Okay. Once we got up into this zone, I got scared and I sold Grok at around, I don't know, 10 to 15 cents. And then it blasted straight on up and peaked out at 2.5. I didn't mean 10 or 15 cents. 1.5 cents is where I sold. So I made a nice gain. I made like a, 5, 6, 7X, somewhere around there. And then it went on up to 2.5 cents. And so it was a 10X, guys. A 10X. From February of 2024 to March of 2024. That's what I call a juicy swing trade that makes some cash. So you want those juicy swing trades that you can get in and get out and make a 10X on. That's what I love about Grok. So anyway, it came down. We had support at the point of control price, the balance point price of 0.008. I was hoping it would come back down to 0.0025 at least, and it didn't. It moved back up. It moved up to almost 2 cents, and then it failed, and now we're coming down, and it's looking bearish, and I'm hoping that it could at least come down to the bottom of the third strike zone box, which is about 5 cents, or a half a cent. 0.005 is going to be where I start the DCA, but if it gets real nasty and ugly and comes down to 0.002 again, hey, I'm in. I am all in. I'm going to grab me a nice little bag, and I'm playing this sucker. Okay, so how long is this little mini bear market going to last? Well, let's go back to BTC, and let's let the chart tell us. So here is BTC. 54,000. Looks like we're kind of wicking back up. Remember what I said on the 1 hour chart that we might come back up to this volume node of 55? Well, it looks like it's trying to do that right now. All right, we're just below 55. That's amazing. That's amazing that that prediction has come to pass while we're still on this live stream. See this crossover right here? That crossover says that we're still moving in the upward direction. So right now we're at 54,000. And then this node, if we bring the price up, you can see it. What's possible is we're at this node, we could jump up to that next node, and that's at 55,469. So we've already snapped up to the lower node. We could be hitting 55, and it might even happen tonight. Best case scenario could jump back up to 57, but then it's going to continue to go down because, like I said before, bearish stochastic, bearish MACD on the 4 hour, bearish stochastic, bearish MACD on the 1 day, on a 1 week chart, bearish stochastic, very bearish MACD coming off of a peak and printing solid red on the histogram. So we said 52K, here we come. And then this little 50 EMA could be the bottom because it could magically settle down right below that 52K. The 50 EMA might come up a little bit by the time they meet, so they could have a meeting point somewhere between 51,000 and 52,000. If you want to get crazy and look at the 1 month chart, we can do that. And then we'll go back to the 1 week and see how long this is going to last. Now, this is rather concerning. This is concerning, but I think we're going to be okay because the last bull market peak, look where the stochastic is. See it right here? There's bull market peak, and then here's the fake peak here. See how we had the lower high on the stochastic? So this was actually what I would call the bear market rally, the first one, where it comes up after the blow off top. After you sail down, you have a big recovery, and then it continues to dive down and travel towards the bear market low. All right, so you had this peak, the double peak, bear market rally, bear market bottom. Look at this peak right here, guys. We've already hit the stochastic peak. We have a bearish cross. Let's hope that it comes down and does not go all the way back down for a full cycle. But what it does, here's what could happen. Look what happened here during this run. All right, back in 2019, we came down and we never went to oversold. So here's 2020, even through the bear market, and then we rolled up from there when we started the next bull run. So it did not come all the way down to oversold. So there's a possibility we could hang out down here and come up, or it could quickly snap back up and double dip up. Now, way back here, and you can't even see the price action, you see here where there was a peak, it crossed over bearish, it was pointing down just like it looks right now, and what did it do? The fast line came back up, overtook it, and then here's a bull run right there all the way to a bull market peak. So I'm thinking that back here in the 2017 run, the 2017 bull market is more indicative of what we're seeing here because this was a special one. It was very different. And on this one, we had the run, we had the correction to about the 40 line, and then we came up to the first peak, second peak. So I'm thinking that this action is what we're going to see happen out here, where we don't go all the way down for a full cycle because we're coming up on the bull market. It's very close, all right? It's looking very, very close. So how long could the current action last? Well, let's go back. Let's go back to the 1 week, and let's just look at these dips. So when we got to the bottom of this last one, we were looking at coming off of the peak was July, and then we went into September to the bottom, and then we shot back up. Crawling up all the way through December. Then we consolidated, and while you saw the price was flat, but the stochastic was going down, that's where we were queuing up for the big bull run. Okay? So we looked like we had a time period after we fell off from here in July, maybe August, that it was September when we hit that bottom. So I'm thinking it could be 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks max for this to play out. I'm going to say on the safe side, I'm not waiting more than a few weeks to start buying. Now, we can't time the market perfectly, okay, because this thing could turn around in a couple weeks, but it could also languish. We could have a sloppy July. We could have a side-banding August. We could have a lackluster September. But by October, I think we're going to be in the bull run. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Okay, so being cautious, I would say that you could start buying, within a couple weeks. If you're taking a chance, you could buy anything right now. And if you wait long enough, you're going to make your money if you're patient. But I'm greedy. I'm already sitting on my biggest, fattest bags. Swift Coin, Caspa. Actually, Caspa is my biggest play. I fully expect to haul in $500,000 on Caspa at the peak of this market. I expect a $5 Caspa, and that's why I want to buy more. I'm hoping that the market does dip down so I can get more Caspa. But at any rate, if I wait 2 weeks and we're still going down, I'm absolutely buying. If I'm wrong and the market rebounds and we don't hit this 52K, it's all right. You know, I did my best. I already got my bags packed. But I do think that 52K is highly likely. And if that fails, it's possible that we could jump into the 40s. It's possible, but not likely. So as we've been saying for months, we said for months that when we're sitting at 67, we said 62 is coming. And if 62 fails, 52 was the next stopping point. And here it comes. And so that's the good news about this blood in the streets market. It's doing what we thought. It's nice when we look at this chart and it tells us 52K is coming, and then it actually plays out. We like that. We don't like getting, blindsided. But the reason why we're seeing this steep action down right now is because they're releasing the Mt. Gox Bitcoin from the settlement, okay? And so as people receive that Bitcoin, they sell it off because the price where it is right now is way higher than where it was years ago when they first captured that exchange. What was the exchange? The Mt. Gox exchange, actually, when they shut them down and when the U.S. government seized all of that Bitcoin. So that's why we're seeing this bearish action. Now, I want you to post in the comments for those of you who are still here. I get the big picture.
Yay!
I get the big picture in the comments if this makes sense. And if you too believe that we are probably going to be looking at 52K. We could snap back up to 55 first, but I'm looking at a 52K Bitcoin. All right? So that's what we have. We covered the main coins, the main alts. We covered Bitcoin. We covered the micros. We covered the small caps, and we dove headfirst into the meme coins. We got it all today, guys. And so I'm going to come on again in a couple days, especially if the market continues to sink. If Bitcoin hits 52, I'll go live and we'll celebrate that because that's what we're thinking that we're going to hit. It's not a guarantee, but maybe 90% chance that we at least dip down to 50K. So that is about all I've got for this video. I am so thankful for all of you joining. And I tell you what, I would absolutely love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you would like to help support my channel, like Miss V Rose did, you can drop a 2-bomb or a 5-bomb. Or even a 20 bomb on my head if you would like to. And so I appreciate and thank you in advance for all of your support in the super thanks. And then post your questions. This will be finalized, and you can still ask questions once we get done with the live broadcast. I've had a blast. I tell you what, I'm going to keep this going. And we're going to be checking in at least once a week. But once the bull market really gets cranked off, guys, once the bull market really gets cranked off, I think things are going to be hot. And you're going to be glad to be here because I'm going to keep you all informed along the way as we go. Okay. Well, again, thank you for being here. That is all I've got for now. This is Carlton. And I am out.